Look around. Love is no longer a flame, it is a flicker on a screen. We swipe, we like, we ghost, we scroll, but do we ever see each other anymore? Modern romance is drowning in convenience. We no longer chase hearts, we chase attention. Technology gave us speed, but speed kills depth. We know how to connect instantly, but not how to stay. We don't date to build, we date to consume. Romance has become a marketplace, and people have become products. We fear silence, we fear boredom, we fear each other's truth, so we wear masks, we perform, we call this love, but it's theater. Real love is uncomfortable, it demands presence, it demands patience, it demands that we see the broken pieces and still choose to stay. But today we run at the first sign of imperfection. We trade people like updates, we confuse desire with distraction. This is why modern romance is collapsing. Not because love is dead, but because courage is rare. Courage to be vulnerable, courage to fight for something real, courage to stand in the storm instead of running to the next shelter. If you want love, stop waiting for perfect. Perfect is a lie. Love is forged in fire, not in filters. Be present. Be brave, be willing to feel, because only those who dare to love without armor will ever know what it means to truly love. We used to wait for love. Now, we expect it to appear in seconds. We used to earn attention. Now, we rent it for as long as the scroll allows. Love once demanded effort, letters, time, confrontation, silence. Now it's a game of notifications, a flash, a sound, a dopamine hit. We no longer listen to the heart. We listen to the algorithm. Truth used to be the foundation. Two people showing up raw, unfiltered, imperfect. Now, truth is inconvenient. It's bad lighting. It's unedited. It's slow. But distraction is easy. Distraction feels good. Distraction doesn't ask questions. We trade depth for novelty. We trade understanding for appearance. We confuse being seen with being liked. Truth takes time. Distraction is immediate. And we have chosen the shortcut over the climb. We say we want connection, but we run from the discomfort it brings. We say we crave intimacy, but we hide behind digital masks. Convenience has rewritten romance. We don't meet by chance, we match by algorithm. We don't build memories, we collect moments to post. It's not love anymore, it's a highlight reel. We curate our emotions, we select our angles. We present an optimized version of ourselves and expect real love in return. But love doesn't grow in convenience. It grows in the struggle, in the awkward silences, in the messy moments no one sees. Truth is ugly. Truth is raw. Truth is vulnerable, but we've been conditioned to avoid it. We fear being exposed. We fear being rejected. We fear being too much or not enough. So we hide, and we keep hiding, and still wonder why we feel unknown. People say modern love is fast, but speed is not connection. Speed is escape. Escape from the work. Escape from ourselves. Escape from the mirror love holds up to us. Convenience says, if it's not easy, leave. If it's not fun, move on. If it's not perfect, swipe again. But truth says, stay, face it, grow with it. Truth asks us to dig. Convenience tells us to scroll. We don't fall in love anymore, we fall into patterns, fleeting, repeatable, disposable. We want love without risk. We want closeness without vulnerability. We want passion without pain. But that's not how love works. Love is not built on easy. Love is not built on filters. Love is not built on comfort zones. It's built on truth. Truth that says, I see you, all of you, and I'm still here. But we've forgotten how to stay. We've forgotten how to wrestle with imperfection. We've forgotten how to love without running. And now we live in a culture of half-formed connections, half-spoken words, half-committed hearts. We build houses with no foundation and wonder why they collapse. Truth has become too expensive. Convenience is cheap, but the cost is loneliness in a crowded room. The cost is lovers who never truly know each other. The cost is a world full of people who have forgotten how to be real. We don't suffer from a lack of love, we suffer from a lack of honesty, because real love, the kind that transforms, the kind that holds you when everything falls apart, only grows where truth is allowed to live. But truth is slow, truth is difficult, truth is demanding, so we run toward what's easy, we settle for what's fast, we choose the screen over the soul, and this is where modern romance begins to die. Not in heartbreak, but in distraction, not in betrayal, but in the abandonment of truth. When truth became too heavy, we turned to performance. When being real felt too risky, we put on a show. Technology didn't just give us connection, it gave us a stage. And suddenly, every moment was an audition, every feeling, a performance for someone watching. We stopped looking at each other. We started looking at our reflections through someone else's eyes. Presence means being here. Performance means being seen, and we chose to be seen, even if it meant no one really saw us. In the past, love happened in quiet rooms. Now it happens in comment sections. Once, intimacy lived in silence. Now it drowns in noise. We capture moments, but we're never in them. Smiling for the camera while dying inside. We don't talk. We text. We don't listen. We wait to reply. We're always half there. One eye on the phone, the other on a future that never arrives. Technology promised presence. It gave us access. But access isn't intimacy. We can reach anyone but connect with no one. We think being online means we're together, but we're lonelier than ever. We scroll past real people to chase a curated fantasy. We compare love to pixels. We measure affection in likes. We define worth by engagement, not engagement of the heart but the post. Romance has become content, and people have become brands. We fall in love with profiles, not people. We chase chemistry through captions. We decide in seconds worthy or unworthy, without ever hearing a voice. Presence means staying even when it's quiet. Performance means turning up the volume so no one notices the silence. We're afraid to just be. So we edit, we exaggerate, we package ourselves as something easier to love. But what happens when someone falls in love with the mask instead of the face beneath it? What happens when your value depends on your visibility? We've turned love into a broadcast. Moments aren't sacred anymore, they're strategic. Anniversaries must be posted. Kisses must be filmed. Arguments must be hidden. The real is erased. Only the performance survives. But love doesn't live in the performance. It lives in what you don't post. It lives in the struggle you didn't film. It lives in the apology you whispered when no one else was watching. Technology rewards spectacle, but love grows in silence. We've blurred the line between connection and exposure. We think validation is affection. We think attention is commitment, but attention fades. And commitment doesn't trend. Presence is rare now. To sit with someone without distraction. To listen without needing to respond. To hold space without needing to be entertained. But we've trained ourselves to perform. To be interesting, not honest. To be desirable, not vulnerable. To win love, not to share it. And this is the fracture. Because performance always ends. The lights go off, the stage clears, and you're left with yourself unfiltered, exhausted, alone. The question is, did anyone ever know you, or just the version you projected? And if no one knew you, was it ever really love? Presence says, I'm here, even when there's nothing to gain. Performance says, watch me as long as I'm winning. But love needs presence. Love needs the awkward pauses, the eye contact, the boring nights. Love needs the space where masks fall and the raw you finally breathes. Technology gave us tools, but tools can build or destroy. We use them to build mirrors but not windows. We reflect endlessly but never see through, and now we're connected to everyone but present with no one. We traded truth for distraction. We replaced presence with performance, and now we've reduced romance to a transaction. It used to be a journey, now it's a deal, a checklist, a bargain between two brands. What do you bring to the table? A not. Who are you when no one is looking? We evaluate love like a contract. What can you give me? How do you make my life easier? Will you upgrade my image? People are no longer partners. They're investments, assets, accessories. Romance used to change you, stretch you, strip you down, make you question yourself, help you rebuild from the inside. Now, it just reflects you. It mirrors your preferences, confirms your beliefs, and avoids your wounds. We don't want love that transforms. We want love that conforms. We want comfort, not growth. We want safety, not surrender. We want someone to fit the mold we've already decided we won't break. Love used to be alchemy, now it's arithmetic. Hot plus successful equals high value. Emotional equals liability. Broken equals avoid. Vulnerable equals weak. But the deepest kind of love doesn't add. It shatters, it breaks you so something more honest can emerge, and we've built a world that fears the break. We call it high standards, we call it knowing our worth, but often It's just fear dressed in self-help. We seek guarantees, not mystery. We want results, not discovery. We want love on our terms or not at all. So what do? We date like shoppers. We search for the best deal, minimal risk, maximum return. We call it dating smart, but it's just avoiding depth, because real romance is not efficient, it's not clean, it's not strategic, it's messy, it's inconvenient, it costs time, it costs ego, but it gives you something no transaction ever can. It gives you transformation, not just love for another, but a deeper knowing of yourself. When love is real, it humbles you, it confronts your flaws, it breaks your pride, it burns away your illusions. But most of us won't let it. We want the benefits of love without the mirror it holds up. So we reduce people to what they can do for us, not who they are becoming, and we wonder why it all feels so empty. You can't build something eternal on temporary terms. You can't find transcendence in transactions. And yet every day we walk into relationships with a silent scorecard. What did they text? When did they reply? What do I get if I give? We love like accountants. We trust like skeptics. We hold back, waiting to see who loses control first. But love isn't a negotiation. It's a surrender. It's a risk. It's a fire that either destroys you or refines you. And that's the point. It's meant to change you. It's meant to make you feel what nothing else can. But we've settled for half versions, half intimacy, half honesty, half effort. We want passion without pressure, connection without confrontation, change without cost. But there is no cheap love. If it doesn't challenge you, it won't grow you. If it doesn't push you, it won't deepen you. And if it doesn't transform you, what's the point? Because real romance is not just about finding someone new. It's about becoming someone new because of how deeply you've dared to love. We turned love into a transaction. We chased what served us, not what shaped us, but even that was too much, because depth scares us more than loneliness. We say we want deep connection, but the moment it gets real, we flinch, we retreat, we vanish, not because love failed us, but because depth demanded something we weren't ready to give. Vulnerability, truth, surrender. Depth requires exposure, and exposure terrifies the modern soul. We are trained to be untouchable, strong, put together, in control, but depth asks you to break. It asks you to reveal the chaos behind the curated smile. And most people would rather play it safe than be seen like that. So we stay shallow, not because we're incapable of love, but because love requires a kind of nakedness that ego cannot survive. Shallow love feels safer. You can walk away without bleeding. You can ghost without guilt. You can pretend it never mattered. But shallow love also never heals you, never reforms you, never cracks open the parts of you you've been too afraid to face. Depth says, I want to know what haunts you. Shallow says, just keep things light. Depth says, let me see the parts you hide. Shallow says, only show me what's easy to love. And so, we perform. Again, polished, filtered, controlled, we say the right things, we show the best version, we avoid discomfort like disease, but comfort kills character, and every time we avoid depth, we become smaller. Nicer, but emptier. We fill the silence with noise, we fill the distance with distraction, we fill the fear with fantasy, but we never stop to ask, what if the thing I keep running from is the exact thing that could finally heal me? Because only depth can touch the places surface affection can't reach. Only depth can sit with your shame and say, I'm not leaving. But depth comes with a cost. It strips away the illusion. It doesn't flatter. It doesn't protect your pride. It says, let me see the wound. Even if you've spent years hiding it under your achievements. That's why most people love the idea of love more than the experience of it. The fantasy is sweet. The dream is safe, but the real thing requires that you stop pretending, and that is terrifying. So we settle, for almost, for kinda, for maybe. We find someone who won't look too closely. Someone who won't ask the hard questions. Someone who will stay on the surface because we've never been taught how to swim. We live ankle deep, afraid of drowning, but never tasting the ocean. Depth asks for presence. Presence we don't give. Because we're always halfway somewhere else, half in the room, half in our heads, half in the past, half in escape, but you can't love halfway. Love demands full surrender, the kind of surrender that leaves your ego trembling. The kind that whispers, "This could destroy me, but I'm still choosing it." That's what makes depth holy. It burns, but it purifies. It empties you only to fill you with something real, but we've been conditioned to stay untouched. So we run, the second it feels unfamiliar, the second someone sees too much, the second our guard starts to slip. We say, "It's not the right time. I need space. I don't feel the spark." But often, what we really mean is, "I don't know how to let someone in," because depth requires risk. And most people would rather feel safe than feel alive. So here we are surrounded by people, connected to everyone, and yet, seen by no one. We ran from depth because it made us feel exposed. We feared vulnerability because it stripped away the mask. But here's the truth: without discomfort, there is no transformation, and without the courage to face it, there is no real connection. Connection is not a product. It's not an outcome. It's not built in comfort. It's built in the furnace, the awkward pause, the hard conversation, the moment you don't know what to say but stay anyway. Connection starts where performance ends, when the script fails, and you speak from the wound. When the walls crack, and someone chooses not to run, but we've been trained to leave at the first sign of conflict, the first flaw, the first moment it stops being easy. We think love should be smooth. We think connection should be instant, but anything real will ask you to bleed a little, because real love will show you your limits. It will press against your pride. It will trigger the parts of you you've worked hard to bury. And the question becomes, can you stay when your comfort is challenged? Can you hold someone's pain without trying to fix it, or flee from it, or make it about you? Connection requires courage, courage to sit in silence, courage to be misunderstood, courage to feel something you can't control. Most people don't lack connection, they lack the stomach for it, because it's not romantic all the time, it's not perfect, it's not predictable. Connection is chaotic, it's clumsy, it gets ugly before it gets beautiful, and if you're not willing to face your own shadows, you'll never truly meet someone else's light. We say we want honesty, but honesty without courage becomes cruelty. We say we want openness, but openness without patience becomes pressure. Courage is what lets you hold both, to be strong and soft, to be broken and brave. That's the space connection lives in, but we weren't taught this. We were taught to be desirable, not dependable. We were taught to be impressive, not honest. We were taught that love should feel good, not that love should teach us how to grow through pain. So we flinch at the first miscommunication. We panic when the honeymoon ends. We convince ourselves it's not meant to be, just because it got hard. But connection isn't found, it's built day by day, in the small, unseen decisions to stay, to lean in when it gets awkward, to admit when you're scared, to listen when it hurts. Discomfort is not the enemy, it's the doorway. The uncomfortable conversation you keep avoiding is the very thing that could unlock real closeness. The imperfection you're trying to hide might be the exact thing that makes someone trust you, because no one connects through perfection. We connect through the crack, through the unspoken, through the moment we let go and show up as we are. Not as who we wish we were, not as who we pretend to be, but as the flawed, healing, breathing truth. Connection doesn't require magic, it requires presence. And presence doesn't come from perfection, it comes from the courage to show up when you don't have it all together. To say, "I'm still learning." To say, "I'm afraid you'll leave if I show you this part of me, but I'm showing you anyway." That's courage, and that's where connection begins. We said connection needs courage. Courage to sit in discomfort, courage to stay through imperfection, but there's something deeper still, because even with courage, many never find love. Why? Because they're still in love with the illusion. The illusion of what love should look like. The illusion of who they believe they must be to deserve it. The illusion of what a perfect partner should say, should do, should fix. We aren't chasing real love. We're chasing the fantasy, the movie version, the filtered version, the one where no one gets hurt, no one feels insecure, and every moment is beautiful and easy. But love is not beautiful and easy. Love is holy and hard. And to find the real thing, you have to destroy the story you keep telling yourself. You have to burn the fantasy so something honest can be born in its place, because illusions don't just protect us. They imprison us. They keep us chasing ghosts. They keep us blaming others for not meeting standards we've never even questioned. They keep us addicted to the dream and allergic to reality. But reality is where love lives. Not in the projection, not in the checklist, not in the fairy tale. Love lives in the ordinary, in the pauses, in the misunderstandings, in the resilience to return again and again, even when nothing feels cinematic. You cannot build something unshakable on fantasies that shift with your moods. Love demands the death of illusion, the illusion that the right person will save you from yourself, the illusion that love will always feel good. The illusion that real love never stumbles. Real love stumbles all the time, but it gets up together. It doesn't avoid pain, it walks through it. It doesn't run from your darkness, it learns to sit beside it. And to love in that way, to receive that kind of love, you must be willing to let go of who you thought you needed to be. You must let the mask fall, let the script die, let the perfection rot, because illusions don't just lie to others. They lie to you. They tell you that if you just looked better, if you just played it cooler, if you just acted more then love would finally find you. But love doesn't come to the curated version of you. It comes to the true one, the broken one, the complicated one, the one that doesn't always have the right words. And the only way someone else can meet that version of you is if you meet it first. Break the illusion. Break the lie that says love is always certain. Break the story that says it has to be perfect to be real. Break the pattern that makes you sabotage closeness because it didn't match the fantasy. You are not hard to love. You are hard to reach because of the illusions you keep alive. Let them go. Let go of needing to always feel in control. Let go of needing to look like you're never affected. Let go of needing someone to fix what only you can face. When you kill the illusion, what remains is raw, but it's real. What remains is not the fantasy of love, but the substance of it, quiet, resilient, unshakable, because the kind of love that lasts is not made of magic. It's made of truth, truth that's been tested, truth that's been chosen, truth that's been rebuilt after every illusion collapsed. So burn it down, burn the lie that says you must earn love, burn the fantasy that keeps you chasing perfection. Burn the image that's killing your connection. And when the fire is done, what's left is you, unpolished, unfiltered, unhiding, and finally, ready.